Training mit binären Optionen.
London, the newly crowned capital of the financial world. And for many of those working here, the streets now really are paved with gold.
The most I've made in a day is about £700,000.
The City of London's awash with money, and it's being spent as fast as it's earned.
There's definitely a conspicuous consumption trend going on.
In the last few weeks, £10 billion has been paid out in bonuses, with at least one star player getting £50 million.
We have guys this year who spent well in excess of £100,000 on 4 or 5 day holidays.
But as the sales of fast cars, yachts and luxury properties hit record highs, criticism mounts.
I think they're jealous. No one seems to be commenting about David Beckham's new salary, and at the end of the day, he's a guy who kicks a football around. They must be making a lot of money for their company. And so what if he takes home a £40 million bonus? I mean, he's well entitled to it. And yeah, if I could get somebody who's making me 100 million, I'd give him 40 million straight away.
Today's financiers have never been so wealthy or so celebrated. These are Britain's super rich. Friday night in London's West End. As the revellers and tourists pour into the theatres and bars, another group head for their favourite night spot. At Pangaea, nightclub of choice for the young bankers and traders who work in the city's square mile, business is booming. Recent bonus payouts have made it party night every night.
They'll just go absolutely nuts, and they'll begin with a whole load of shots. And you can watch them deteriorate, bottle after bottle of all the usual brands, just being poured, I mean, sprayed around and poured over their heads, and it gets all a little bit silly.
A bottle of beer costs £4, a bottle of vodka costs £130. But if you want to get noticed, you ask for champagne at up to £1,000 a bottle.
If you order a Magnum, you get these sort of flamethrowers, and the music changes to the Rocky theme. And of course, everyone looks, then you get the competition beginning. So all the other tables who are trying to impress their girlfriends or their wives or their clients or their whatevers will say, right, and suddenly it just goes off. It's like a firework display in the club. The champagne off, as they call it, spraying each other down with Cristal and Dom Perignon.
Tonight's clubgoers are paying up to £700 just for a table.
Some people can come here and spend £1,000, £20,000, £30,000 in an hour or 3 hours, and leave with a smile and say thank you very much and give a huge tip to the waitress and come back the next week. It is silly money, and you do sometimes think, God, they must be earning ludicrous amounts of money, or God help the bank whose corporate card that's on.
Laurie Inman is among tonight's customers. At 25, he's one of the city's hottest young traders, using his own money to buy and sell German government bonds.
The most I've made in a day is about £700,000. The most I've lost is about £250,000, which is quite a lot of money.
But his gambles on the market have proved spectacularly successful. He makes in a year what some people will earn in a lifetime.
Having the money I've got at my age, I know and realise how fantastically fortunate I am. It's going to sound ridiculous, but it's not something I think about all day, every day. I'm a typical 25-year-old.
The majority of city workers are in the same age bracket, many pulling 7-figure salaries and bonuses. They are reaping the benefits of rising share prices, an influx of foreign cash, and a huge growth in company mergers and acquisitions. The £10 billion the city has just shared out is equal to Britain's hospital building budget for the last 10 years.
Britain is going through this quite remarkable social revolution in which there's been an explosion of wealth at the top end. Since Tony Blair came to power, the wealth of the top 1,000 has tripled. This wealth boom is being driven almost entirely by the city. They're paying themselves bonuses that are sometimes as much as the lifetime earnings of sort of senior professionals, you know, from head teachers through to doctors.
Maurizio Fabrice runs broking firms in London and Milan. A city veteran of nearly 20 years, he's witnessed the rise and rise of the annual payout.
When I started working in the city with my first bonus, I pretty much bought what everyone was buying at the time, which was the Golf GTI. I had that for a while, and then as the bonuses got bigger, then the cars got better as well. So I moved on to, I had a couple of Porsches, and then I got my first Ferrari.
I do know of people who spent the whole of their first bonus in one go. I know one particular guy who spent it on a Porsche Boxster, and that's not unusual at all. Porsche Boxsters were a bit of a favourite with first bonuses, particularly with the men.
I think cars, for a lot of the guys in the city, is quite a big status symbol. It's sort of measure of how you're doing internally in your company. They want to have the first 599 in the garage or the first SLR in the garage. So they're just going to turn up in downstairs in Canary Wharf with their new motor. Yeah, a little bit of competition there.
Such lavish rewards have drawn criticism from clergymen, trade unionists, even government ministers, claiming the payouts are obscene. But brokers like Maurizio are unapologetic.
You know, they are justified simply because these people are making money. You know, they know how to make money for their institution. And as a result, it's right that they should be in a competitive market where they can dictate their bonuses depending on how good they are. So absolutely anyone who's making, you know, £25 million bonuses, which is about 24,900,000 more than me, no, I'm joking, is completely justified. Hats off to him.
It takes a certain sort of person to rise to the top. And to be fair, it's a huge challenge to get up there. So the sort of person who's going to rise that challenge is going to be someone, I would say in general, you know, who does desire that sort of money.
Tom Wanless was 21 when he joined a leading city bank as an industry analyst. His rise through the ranks has bought him a luxury city penthouse and lifestyle to match.
Salaries get ramped up quite nicely, certainly during your first few years, and the bonuses do too.
And with such large payouts, competition is fierce.
For most banks, bonuses come out in January, which basically means certainly for the last couple of months of any calendar year, everyone works their butts off even more than usual to ensure that they look sparkling when it comes around to the bonus time.
It's very much a closed-door affair, so you'll go in there, no one else will know, you know, what you're hearing. They'll see you go in and see you come out either with a big smile on your face or otherwise.
And you do see a slight change in people around that time. Everyone wants to make sure that their name gets attached to the right deal to ensure that it looks like they've brought in lots of money for the company.
If you look at Wall Street, the bonus day is a very symbolic and significant day. It's sometimes known as the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. All hell lets loose if people don't get the bonuses they think they deserve. And that kind of culture of expectation and demand that we're worth so much, we need these giant bonuses, gradually got transferred into the sort of British banks as well.
I know for a fact that someone's bonus, which was certainly over £100,000, complaining that it was like working for charity, which shocked me.
We've got this case at the moment in the city where one investment banker is suing his Japanese bank for £7 million because he thinks he's worth that and he was only given £1 million.
When everybody has got the bonus money in their accounts, then certainly there's celebrations, and typically that will be going out to bars and spending a lot of money on champagne.
But champagne isn't the only thing they'll spend their money on. Coming up, how city bonuses have sent the property prices soaring.
So this is a £4.5 million apartment in Knightsbridge's Land Square.
And Maurizio looks to splash out at the Italian Motor Show.
And I think the best looking car is that Alfa over there, which I think is, well, I think it's the most stunning car at the show. Really cool.
This button here. I got it. Yeah? Oh, yeah, I got it. Sure? I got it. Yeah. Lean careful. See, I'm really good. I'm flying. Steady. Whoa. Oh. Hang on, I'll give you a hand with those.
Yeah, sure.
When is a good deal not a good deal on home insurance? We asked a cross-section of homeowners.
When they don't reward you for buying more.
At Direct Line, we'll give you 50% off your home contents cover when you buy it together with our buildings insurance.
That's better.
When they give you a good price but don't include any extras.
And when you buy buildings and contents insurance, we'll give you free annual travel cover for all the family.
That's better.
when they have a snazzy website but no one on the phone to help you?
At Direct Line, we not only have great online deals, we're on the phone in UK-only call centres.
That's better.
Direct Line, a good deal, better.
Brainstorming trip?
Oh. All right, honchos. Our new all-singing, all-dancing bank customer call centre. Where? Or as we say in Espanol, donde?
Spain.
It's a bit obvious, Steve.
Portugal?
Come on, guys. Spread your wings.
All right. Morocco.
No. Sandflies. Ugh.
Bermuda?
Triangle.
Great Barrier Reef.
Good snorkeling. No. Box jellyfish.
Yeah.
Excuse me, why can't our customers talk to us in the UK? That's where they live.
The UK. We're after blue sky thinking here.
Yeah.
There is another way. At NatWest, you can talk to a call centre in the UK 24/7 or call your local branch direct. NatWest, another way.
I know. Delhi.
Delhi. Now you're talking. It's not very central, is it? Not central. It is central in India, Will.
Something terrible has happened to pensions money. Billions of pounds have gone.
It's not coming back.
Jeff Randall reveals the devastating mistakes that will affect us for generations to come.
All of you will get nothing.
Where's My Pension Gone? Thursday the 25th of January at 9.
This summer, Thomson's long-haul flights will have more legroom than ever before. Thomson, web prices on the high street.
Sorting, then checking for stains, then rubbing, and sometimes you're back where you started, doing the whole job again.
When all you need is one scoop. A Vanish Oxy-Action Multi in your machine. Look, here's what it's doing to those stains in your wash. Wow. And there's enough power in one scoop for the whole wash. See? Brilliant.
One scoop is all you need. For better results and less effort every time. Vanish Oxy-Action Multi. Trust pink, forget stains. Also available in a handy pre-treat spray.
It's called the Weetabix Week. Weetabix with honey and yogurt shoved on top of it. Weetabix with fruit compote and yogurt on it. Weetabix with hot frothy milk and what's that?
It's chocolate!
Weetabix with almonds and bananas, look! Basically, we're talking about the Weetabix Week. It's just Weetabix with different stuff sloshed on it every day of the week. Nice! The Weetabix Week. Give it a go.
With house prices still rising, property is a favourite investment for city workers, as bonuses hit the bank accounts, high on the shopping list, and new houses.
We like spending the money we earn, or at least I do. I mean, everybody else, all the guys that work in the city that I know, you know, when they get a good bonus, they like spending it. I don't know many people that have a saving culture or mentality.
I'm sure that, you know, if you look over to Kensington and Chelsea, you know, where a lot of bankers live, I'm sure you would see a lot more expensive house purchases going through.
There are bits of London that are booming off the back of this wall of money that, you know, goes into bonuses once a year. And that is, you know, fueling the demand for very expensive second homes. But that's also having a ripple effect. It's also affecting, you know, the ability of ordinary Londoners to buy in the housing market, because it's kind of boosting prices all the way through.
In some areas of London, multi-million-pound homes are now being snapped up within days of coming on the market.
We have placed a couple of houses sort of north of the £10 million mark in the last month in Knightsbridge, which essentially both buyers were from a financial background. The number of sales at that level and above has doubled this year, but there's enormous activity, particularly between sort of £2 to £5 million. The market at the moment is unprecedented. The growth has been exceptional since the beginning of this year. We're looking at price rises of 20 to 25% since the beginning of January. So this is a £4.5 million apartment in Knightsbridge's Land Square. This is very much the centre of the bonus belt in the high-end real estate market in London.
Overlooking Hyde Park, this state-of-the-art penthouse is a city residence for the working week only. Many bankers have their main home in the country.
In reality, an apartment like this is a pied-à-terre at the end of the day. It is not a home. It's great for entertaining. It's a great place that's an alternative to a hotel room, and it will probably be used for parts of the year, or it'll just be used during the week if they are London-based. And it'll probably fit in with a portfolio of 2 or 3 other properties in Europe or beyond. The wealth that's been generated in London is creating major problems at the lower end of the market. There's no doubt about it. And for first-time buyers, it gets more and more difficult. As people become multiple property owners, first-time buyers are being replaced by people who are buying to invest. And so, yes, it is causing problems further down the ladder. There's no doubt about it.
It's not just the London market that keeps the estate agents busy come bonus time.
One of the great advantages of this house is its proximity to London. People are time poor, so the travel side of it is very important, and you get here within an hour from London, and also it's very close to the airports, particularly Heathrow. The size of the building, it's nearly 10,000 square feet, is the sort of space that people are looking for, and the public rooms are very important for entertaining. It also offers a lot of privacy with 28 acres around it, and those sort of aspects of what people are primarily after. This type of house in this location within an hour of London is certainly the sort of thing that people working in the city who have a principal residence in London are going to be looking for as a weekend house for entertaining, particularly in the summer.
This estate comes with a price tag of £4.5 million.
The city effect is affecting the home counties market like it is in prime central London. It's all about geography, and the good houses within an hour to an hour and a half of London is what everybody is after. The sort of amenity a country house gives you, which is swimming pools and tennis courts and extensive garaging and so on. And so there is hot competition, and the good houses in these immediate counties around London are seeing, serious demand driven by city purchasers.
In the country, as with London, estate agents can barely keep up as competition for country estates and second homes has seen costs spiral. From Cumbria to Cornwall, younger families find themselves squeezed out. As bonuses hit an all-time high, the number of first-time buyers is now at an all-time low.
Britain used to be one of the most equal developed nations in the world. Now it's one of the most unequal developed nations. And so what we have now is that the top 1% in Britain own something like a quarter of Britain's wealth.
With the year's bonus about to be paid out, city dealer Maurizio Fabrice is choosing his latest sports car at an Italian motor show.
I like spending my money on cars, I like driving them around. I just enjoy everything about cars, racing and owning them. And I think the best looking car is that Alfa over there, which I think is, I think it's the most stunning car at the show. Really cool.
After 20 years as a broker, Maurizio is enjoying his biggest ever bonuses, and it's these that allow him to indulge a lifelong obsession with cars.
It's a guy thing. Most guys like cars, and if you link that to the wages these guys are getting paid, then they're a status symbol, and it just might show off what they're doing, how well they've done, the success they're having. Porsche and Ferrari have got to be up there, especially for the younger guys. And, Mercs, Bentleys now, obviously getting quite popular. Aston Martins, they've come back in. It's anything that looks good when you park it outside a restaurant or something.
Racing sports cars cost Maurizio £80,000 every year.
I got into that by accident. I went to a track day and I met a guy down there called Rob Wilson who trains a couple of the Formula 1 guys, and he convinced me that I should stop being a hooligan on the track with my own car and maybe do some racing. I've been doing it 3 years now, and it's a lot of fun. The adrenaline when you're in the car and you're actually in the race is probably very similar to when we're having a busy day in the office. It's all about adrenaline, and the time just flies by. People don't understand that the reason that they go out and they play hard is because the environment they're in is so highly strung. And people from the outside don't understand just how much effort and how much work and how much time and how many sleepless nights we all have.
To mop up some of the billions of pounds spilling out from the city, a whole new service industry has sprung up with people working round the clock to meet the city's every wish and demand.
Quintessentially came about 5 years ago when I set it up with my partner Ben Elliott, and we decided to look after some of the world's richest and most connected people, because at the time I was producing films with Elton John, and I used to do a lot of service work for the film stars coming into town. So we only actually look after probably the top 0.5% of the city. So if you wanted to hire a private jet, we would go out to 50 of the best suppliers of private jets worldwide and get you the best price, through to finding you a private villa, or ordering your own personalised submarine, or booking a famous pop star for your child's birthday party. It's almost like dream fulfillment that we're in the business of, and that's, I think, what people buy into.
So lucrative is this growing service industry that Nick Newbury quit his city job to join in. He now organises extravagant holidays for those with no time to look at brochures.
We realised there was a gap in the market for people who are time poor, cash rich. I'd worked in that environment. I'd seen the people who were around me going on these types of short breaks before, and I knew that there was something in there for people who wanted tailored holidays that were 4 or 5 days long, to pack in as much as you can into a shorter time as possible. We have guys this year who've spent well in excess of £100,000 on 4 or 5 day holidays.
I took a week off a year ago to do a race in Brazil. So, there was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday was the race, and 3 days were just cruising around.
The jaw-dropping mini break has now become the latest city status symbol. From diving with great white sharks to Amazon treks.
We had 10 traders from a well-known American investment bank. It was a stag weekend. They flew up to Kiruna in the Arctic Circle, headed out into the wilderness by Skidoo. They then boarded onto dog sleds and led their own team of Siberian Huskies through the Lapland mountains. They fished for their own dinner through ice holes we'd cut into the ice. They certainly like to brag about it, but it's all about them experiencing things that very few people have done before.
We do lots of different travel requests, and big at the moment is eco-travel. A large percentage of the city at the moment are investing in and buying up the Earth's lungs, the Amazon rainforest. And that's being led by a couple of very, very influential city investors. So a lot of eco-travel to new destinations that aren't touched at the moment, like Mozambique. We had a guy who bought out the entire North Island in the Seychelles, which is probably one of the most luxurious places on Earth.
However great or small the request, when the call comes in, personal service companies like Quintessentially are there to take it, 24 hours a day.
Hi, I have a very important member who I've got to get a suit for. He's on his way from Istanbul now.
Okay.
He's got a very important meeting tomorrow morning,
Okay.
and I need a kind of dark blue
Right.
and shirt and tie as well, but I need it altered as well.
Okay,
and
that's not a problem.
over by him tonight. Is that all
Okay,
right?
not a problem at all.
Can we have a look? I
Of
found a
course.
couple I thought may be quite good. I do a lot of kind of businessmen who mostly don't have the time. I do a lot of their presents as well, kind of birthdays, anniversaries, Christmases, or like I'm in Dunhill today to do a suit for a man who's just flown over. Got a business meeting first thing tomorrow morning, but I've shopped with him before, so I know his size, his colourings, what he likes, what he doesn't like. Okay, well, should we go? Let's go with that,
Okay.
and then a shirt as well and a tie.
Okay.
I'm thinking blue.
Classic.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of suits and kind of shooting parties. If they go shooting at the weekend, they haven't got an outfit, and so I have to literally buy the whole thing: jackets, wellies, socks, everything. I like that.
That's nice.
And I love that. I think
That's
he'd
a
love
great
that.
tie.
We had this one guy who wanted this Patek Philippe watch. I mean, it's kind of over £100,000. He couldn't get his hands on it. It was kind of desperate, screaming, I really want it. And so came to us and we managed to pull it off in the end. And so his son got it for his birthday.
Now, what time do you need all the alterations done for?
Well,
And the cost for a full-time personal service like this? Up to £25,000 a year.
Conspicuous consumption by the rich is back in fashion, and we see people, blowing £5 million on birthday parties, buying up islands around the world. This is not frowned on. People do it because it's acceptable. The wealth boom of recent years has gone hand in hand with a sort of public and political acceptance of, spending extravagance.
Coming up, how the super rich are now rubbing shoulders with the super famous.
Well, Sienna Miller is involved with Click, so we're hoping she's going to come. Rachel Stevens, I think Simon Cowell,
Frank Lampard, John Terry.
And when the work gets too much, the city boys hit the beach in style.
We did a weekend when we had a particularly good month. The guys here, we all took a yacht down to Central Park and had a few parties.
The planet is in a delicate balance. For every clever thing that happens, something really dumb happens elsewhere. At 8:04, a man receives his mint card. He gets a 0% offer until November 2007 and another 0% bonus offer in January 2008. This is really clever. And at exactly the same time... Oh, the clever dumb balance is restored. Oh, clever mint.
Wherever you look across the African continent, a single animal will be performing the same vital role. Day after day, the humble dung beetle carries out its task. The first natural recycler, if you like. The dung beetle is close to the bottom of the food chain. That is its position in life. It has no choice. But you are not a dung beetle. Ever wondered where you can find a more satisfying job? At Friends Reunited Jobs, you'll find thousands of vacancies with leading employers. So search free, register your CV, and we'll do the hard work for you. friendsreunitedjobs.co.uk. You'll never know unless you go.
Chrysler 300C and 300C Touring from $26,250.
No matter what your business angle is, or who you are, one thing is certain. If you want to be a tycoon, you always need a great idea. So if you've got one of those, we should talk.
For more information, go to itv.com/tycoon.
Looking for a home? Visit primelocation.com. No other website has all the properties from the